After being cancelled, Hytale is back. The original team just bought it back from Riot Games, and it seems like the dream is alive again. So we're going to be going through this article today from Hytale themselves, aka Hypixel Studios. The Hytale team, Hytale is saved. So this is the article they posted, I think around 1 to 2 days ago, a little bit late here, and it summarizes what's happened in this time since we had this huge announcement that it had been cancelled and the game was going downhill. Well, a lot has happened since then. We're going to cover this article. I'm going to explain and summarize what this actually means, and then we're going to go through some of the updates, because on their Twitter they've been posting some crazy new devlogs, some new gameplay trailers, and just general updates and hype, which are just so important that we need to cover them in this video. And you can see on the YouTube they're posting a lot of the stuff too, so definitely do check out the YouTube and subscribe. And for any of you who's been on this channel a long time, if you've been subscribed, you'll know that I've been on this Hytale hype train for a long time. We've been going down the rabbit hole. You can see back before the channel blew up, 6 years ago when we're on the come up, I was posting videos. This game will make Fortnite and Minecraft bankrupt. Hytale trailer reaction. This is when I was in my old room, when I had this superhero Marvel wallpaper, when I was just trying to make it on YouTube, and I was basically just reacting to the original game trailer, and then the game just kind of went dark and we were getting slow and sparse updates. And you can see I did actually kind of go back on the game with a little bit of coverage. So you can see 2 years ago what actually happened to Hytale. This was the grey area where we just didn't know what was happening. Was it still going to release? People were commenting like, I was in middle school and now I'm in college and where is Hytale? Okay, I was giving people updates, and then Hytale finally got a new update 10 months ago. They gave us some really huge stuff. They were working on a new game engine. A few months after that went dark, then the game's cancelled. But today we've got some great news, or in the past few days rather. A new and exciting chapter for Hytale begins today. We're thrilled to announce that we've acquired Hytale from Riot Games. While it didn't make sense for them to continue developing it in its existing form, they ultimately wanted what's best for players, and that's for us to eventually play a revised version of the game. We're grateful for Riot Games for making this possible. So this is actually big for Riot. You can see that Riot clearly isn't a company with a huge ego. They do actually care about people, even if they are for profit. That's what every company is for. The fact that they've actually let the original developers have the franchise back because they knew they couldn't do anything with it, that's actually quite respectable. So even though I'm not a huge fan of League of Legends always, and I've not played it much for many years actually, big respect for Riot for that. Over the past few weeks we've rehired more than 30 developers who know this game inside and out. So it seems like they've hired people who originally worked on it, which is good. So we're not starting from ground zero. With additional returns expected in the coming days. Together we're going back to the original vision for Hytale. We're fully independent and personally committed to funding Hytale for the next 10 years. Okay, that's big. So they've got a long-term vision for this game. You'll see a little bit later, they are doing some stuff like reversion to the old engine. So they're dropping that whole new flashy engine and a few of the unnecessary things. So this is from Simon, who's actually the Hypixel founder. So he's the one who made this happen. Simon Collins Laflamme, I think you pronounce it as that. So big respect to Simon for not giving up on this dream project of his. That's super cool. TLDR, so the early access date is going to be announced in the coming days. That's huge. So we're going to have to definitely do some coverage on that. Windows at launch, and then later we're going to get Linux and Mac being attempted. So they're not 100% confirming it. They're going to see if that's the best fit for the game, and then other platforms later. So other platforms, I'm going to guess they're going to do things like Nintendo Switch and handhelds, maybe better support for Steam Deck. I don't know if they're also going to release it on Steam, but that's a big thing I'd like to see. Steam release, Steam achievements, maybe Steam Workshop, that'd be super cool. Early doors though. Early access state, so you're going to have to expect bugs, rough around the edges, and unbalanced content, but frequent updates that also break things. So that's Minecraft 101. That's to be expected. The early access duration is expected to last a few years, so no rush to release 1.0. That's not a bad thing, as long as there's progress in the game, that we can play new things and test them out. That doesn't really matter. Launch content is going to feature exploration mode, creative mode, and modding. So when the game launches, we're going to be able to have creative mode to just build things, be creative. It's going to have modding support, so that's big for people like me and my community, you guys watching, and exploration mode just to explore the map. So that's really cool news. But not a launch, so we're not going to get what's Hypixel Hypixel's famous for, right? We're not going to get mini games, we're not going to get adventure mode, but they are both going to come later, and there's going to be a dedicated team to work on the mini games mode. So for anyone who knows maybe what Hytale is, but they don't really know much about Hypixel, which is what they originally worked on and where they came from, that's like the biggest Minecraft server still. They're well known for mini games. That's like the biggest mini game server, so that's going to be big for Hytale. That kind of has to be a thing to be in the game. So they now own 100% of Hytale, so they've repurchased it back from Riot Games, and they've got for funding a 10-year personal funding commitment. So they don't want to have any outside investors or publishers having a stake in the game because they want full ownership and full leadership on where the game's going to go. Obviously, they've wasted technically a few years being under another company, Riot, so that's kind of understandable. Although, as far as I'm aware, Riot kind of let them have quite a lot of freedom on it, but I might be wrong. The game build is using the previous engine from the original trailer, which enables faster development and immediate playability. So if you didn't know, they were basically working on this like brand new game engine, which was going to change everything, give sparkly new visuals, but it seems like it was kind of a waste of the time, and it was wasting a lot of development time on that, so they've just gone back to the original. But modding available at launch, this is so cool, so you're going to be able to run your own servers and create custom content. So that's what we like to see. So how did we get here? Well, on June the 23rd, 2025, it was announced the development was ending and Hypixel would wind down. When we saw the community's reaction, we knew we had to act. Although we hadn't been involved with Hytale since 2020, Hytale and its community have always been something we cherished. So from what I understand, they weren't involved for the last few years, 5 years, presumably since the acquisition, but since there was such hype behind it, they felt like they could save the game. So what they've gone ahead and done is they made an offer to Riot Games without seeing the full state of the project. Knowing the massive risks involved, we dove in head first, no risk, no Hytale. We negotiated the deal, rehired 30 developers, secured funding, and made the call to return to the legacy engine and the original vision. So this probably cost them a lot of money to buy this game back, but I'm presuming they probably got a decent evaluation for it since it was kind of in the gutter. So I'm hoping they got a good deal on that. But why they did it is the focus on rebuilding the game that they always wanted to play, and one that would be proud for our kids to play too. Philippe and I are personally committing funding for the next 10 years. This is our passion project and we're here to make it last. I think this says Philippa, so I presume that's his wife. I don't know. I don't really want to presume. I don't really know too much about those guys, but it seems like a partnership may be acquiring the game. So they want to start small and grow the community, and they expect the roadmap to evolve as they learn more about the game's needs and how players respond. It's already changing. What we have today is different from what we had a few weeks ago as we've been exploring the game. We'll keep it agile and flexible and try our best to avoid promises we can't keep. So they don't want to just lie to us or have these grandiose visions and plans without actually committing to them. So they're not going to just say they're going to do something. We're going to actually have to see it outright, them saying it and then committing to it. So that's cool. We're choosing to focus on a great game first rather than a perfect engine. We know the risks of releasing an unfinished project, and first impressions matter, and it's hard to change minds, but this is a risk we must take. So we need your help creating this content, reporting the bugs, giving feedback, and building this with us. No risk, no Hytale. That seems like a slogan they're going to use from now on. Our initial priority is polishing the living world, modding, the core mechanics, and the sandbox experience. Once the world feels alive and systems are stable, we'll shift hard into adventure mode and minigames development to create the true Hytale experience. So you can see this is a pretty long article, so I am going to timestamp this video. Let's discuss openly what we've inherited and what we're working on. The biggest thing to note here is that there were two engines in development. So the first one being the legacy engine, which was for PC. This was built on C# and Java languages, and that was quite advanced from 3 to 4 years ago. This is what we use in the trailer and most of the blog posts. And then there was a C++ based cross-platform engine that's been in development for approximately 3 years. The cross-platform engine is significantly behind in terms of its gameplay. It would require extensive refactoring to be production ready with minimal gameplay features. We estimate it would take 2 years before we could consider early access with it. We've made the decision to abandon this cross-platform engine and return to the legacy one. It's playable now. It lets us build a game rather than an engine. It's the version that feels like what Hytale was supposed to be. So if you don't know, a lot of these independent game developers and teams, when they go and make a whole engine, it's almost like the project's being hijacked to work on something else. That's why you see all these big development companies outsource their engine to something like Unreal Engine, and why a lot of people are complaining that everything's on Unreal now. It's because people don't want to waste time developing their own engine anymore. As for the legacy engine, we have plans to make it cross-platform later, but we're in no rush. In the game itself, we have over 100 NPCs, thousands thousands of items and blocks, but many aren't properly configured yet. Expect unbalanced tools, rough edges and bugs. This is genuine early access. Please report issues and give feedback. Official minigames will be available on early access launch. We know that they're a big part of the original Hytale vision, but the infrastructure of minigames are far from ready. We have a dedicated team that will focus on bringing those once the core game's stable. We have extensive experience in this. Well, the whole server, multi-million-dollar empire Hypixel Minecraft was built on minigames, so I guess we can trust them on that. In the meantime, the community can start making their own minigames, custom servers and experiences. When we launch our own though, we'll share our assets and support the communities. Ideally, the community becomes better at making minigames than we are. So they're kind of, I guess, thinking about a whole content ecosystem based on community-driven content. So we've seen this in games like Roblox and Fortnite, so it seems like that's something they want to adapt or tap into. And I think even Rockstar with GTA 6 is going to tap into user-generated content too. So this seems to be the move generally in the gaming industry right now. And that's also because they're a small dedicated team by design, and scaling too fast creates new problems, and the cost of staying small is that we can't bounce and finish everything in a few weeks. The benefit is that we can move quickly, make decisions efficiently, and avoid the bureaucracy that kills momentum, which is typically what you get under a partnership with someone like Riot Games or a publisher, because you have to move in their direction because they're obviously the investors. That's usually what happens, but as far as I know, Riot was actually quite a good partner to work with for them. In the past few days, we made solid progress towards launching early access, and as we move into full production mode, as we complete the transfer of Hytale, you'll see accelerated development in the coming weeks. We'll release detailed patch notes in the coming days so you can see the full scope of the improvements. So quickly, just a touch, because this article is so long, leadership structure. So we've got Simon, who's the co-founder. He's the day-to-day tasks he's involved in and the health of the community. He's co-funding it. Then we have Philippa Touche, the co-founder, who's overseeing financials and helping the finances for the game's acquisition and the structure of the company. Kevin Carstens is the technical lead for every layer of the game. Patrick Durbick, he is handling the studio ops, the team coordination and efficient execution of the game. And then they've got 30 former Hytale developers who know the code base, the game and its vision. Now we're going to read this in full because this is about modding, so this is super cool. A lot of people are going to be interested in this. So modding's once again a top priority. It's always been the core vision of the game and it's critical to the long-term survival of it. We will launch early access with as many modding tools and as much access as possible within legal and security constraints. What we can expect. So it's possible to mod almost everything in Hytale, content and server side. Non-developers can create impressive experiences with minimal technical knowledge. So from what I gauge from this, we're not going to have to be like an expert programmer to make content and mods for Hytale. That lowers the barrier to entry. That means it's probably going to be really cool for modding. A few guides or videos will be enough for most people to start creating. So I imagine they'll post these on the official YouTube channel, how to use the tool set, I'm guessing. We'll provide server source code access within several months once we're ready to legally do so. So maybe we'll see some custom server architecture like we did with Minecraft, hopefully. Things like bucket, plugins, maybe they'll provide access to that themselves. They'll develop that themselves so we don't need too much third party. Dedicated server support and data-driven content config. We're being mindful of backward compatibility as we iterate. Hopefully it won't be like Minecraft where we have to play like old and new versions and all that stuff because that's kind of a bit annoying. Or at least hopefully we'll get easier switching. You can create your own custom servers, maps and adventures and more details will be given. It's not just a feature in terms of modding, it's the foundation for longevity and we're committed to this completely. So summary, what this means for us. So to complete Hytale, they need the community help. So you need to play early access even when it's rough and buggy, report these bugs and give honest feedback, create mods and content for the game, be patient when things break and trust the developers, and make guides and share knowledge with others to promote the game. It's not a polished project, it's raw, it's unfinished and sometimes a broken experience with incredible potential. You'll find placeholder content, unbalanced systems and frustrating bugs, but magic, systems that click perfectly and glimpses of what it could become. Early access is to earn trust, not asking for it. So then it talks about you can join the Discord, there's going to be features and updates, and coming in the next few days we've got gameplay footage and screenshots, some of which I'm going to show you in a few moments, detailed patch notes from the recent work, modern capabilities and a roadmap on the blog, pricing details for the different editions. If you want to buy the game, maybe there's going to be a collector's edition, plenty of updates and communication, and early access release date. Final thoughts, they're starting with over a 4-year build in a small dev team, so it's going to be a rocky road, but seems like there's going to be some cool stuff. So that's the main article which just released. The impact of modding is going to be huge. So like I said before, perhaps we're going to get a community modding ecosystem. Maybe later it might be something like Fortnite where creators who create maps and levels will actually make money from it. This is also in Roblox. People can make Robux and then convert it to cash. So we're going to see a lot of user generated content content, which might eventually just drive the game itself, and then the developers are going to kind of release the main content that's going to be built off. So it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves. Now, because this game has a smaller team and independent funding, it means probably it will move a little bit slower in terms of updates, but that also might not be the case because you don't have the bureaucracy of a major game studio having to greenlight everything so they can post things out a little bit faster maybe, so that can work both ways. With a legacy engine though, there's going to be less delays. It's going to be a lot quicker for development because they're not going to be building a side project, i.e. the new engine on the side, so that's also going to make the project actually move at a quicker speed as well. And the fact that it's early access friendly means people are going to be able to actually play this at some point and play it as it updates in real time instead of just waiting even more years to actually play a finished product. I like the fact that they're actually returning to the original vision, not just the original engine. They're going back to the legacy engine, sure, but they're launching early access too, which is going to be really nice so we can actually play it. And the fact that we can expect a few different modes on launch is going to be kind of cool. There's a little bit of diversity, but we're going to have to wait for some of the cool bits like minigames. So now we've covered that, let's move on to some of the updates we've already gotten on the tweets. So originally we have the pinned trailer, the announcement from 2018, that absolutely broke the internet, but let's see what they've been posting recently. So they've posted a video of the asset editor. I will show you some of the YouTube updates after, but let's have a look at the Twitter. Ice-covered skeletons discover an outlander village in this cold and unforgiving landscape. So this is a cool little screenshot with some skeletons in the icy tundra. Maybe this is a biome in the game, maybe this is just like a POI on the map, I don't know. But this is an outlander village and we have some skeletons. Very reminiscent of the White Walkers of Game of Thrones. Kind of reminds me of the Draugr or Draugr of Skyrim. And it also kind of reminds me of a similar kind of mob from the Ice and Fire mod from Minecraft where you get those undead skeletons. I can't remember what they're called, but I'm pretty sure they're based off White Walkers as well. So we've got a few little dev screenshots. I will show you the little gameplay trailer. We will react to that. But this is interesting. The original creator, Simon, he posted this. So he says, Hytale will take 0% from modders and server owners for at least the first 2 years. So this also plays into the fact that they're not going to give these grandiose promises and break them. He's particularly said specifically for at least the first 2 years. So he's not saying we're going to take a 0% cut forever. He's saying for the first 2 years, if you want to create stuff, you're getting a head start. So if you want to make some money, it's probably best to jump on the bandwagon early, and then they might take some kind of cut or percentage, but that's expected. So that's pretty cool. That's a good incentive for people to actually mod and start servers. It'll be more profitable at the start. We'll trust they'll bring us players, that is all. We'll not have any exclusivity clauses, so they can play this game, play any of the game as well, vice versa, by the players for the players. So that's something I really like. Then he also shared this, a new tab called Creation Tools is now in Hytale to help you explore what is possible as a creator, from simple NPC spawning to complex world gen editor. The vision for modding in Hytale is simple, keep it beginner friendly, easy to learn, and part of the game itself. You can stick to basic tools or go deep with advanced ones like the world gen editor, which lets you control whole world generation. A blog on what is coming soon. More updates for creators are in the works. So this is a little sneak peek. He shared an image here, so you can see we have the UI menu here, we have inventory, we have map, and we have creation tools. You can see they also have default keybinds to these. On creation tools we have an asset editor and a model editor. So I'm guessing the model editor is for the actual 3D model itself, and the asset editor is maybe for like the code of those certain assets. World gen is for things like terrain, and then world tools we have prefab editor. So these will be like pre-made assets you can just spawn with a click, probably like Valve's Hammer editor for making maps for games like Half-Life 2. You have prefabs, you can save in those as well, and then a list of these prefabs. You can spawn NPCs, particles, change the player's model, tint different chunks and instances. I don't know what that's going to be. Maybe that's for things like dungeons in the world or groups for certain objects or assets. Then we have builders tools, machinima. So if you don't know machinima, for new players, machinima was a huge ecosystem and like thing from the old internet where people make films and video games, and they were called machinimas. Machinima's also like a YouTube creation platform for those as well, which I don't know if it's still alive. And the help section, I'm guessing, is going to be some kind of tutorials. The content creation tools is a hub from which you can access various tools and editors that can aid in the creation of content in Hytale. Simply choose one of the tools from the menu above to get started. So it's called creation tools here, but then it says content creation tools. tools. So there's kind of a name mismatch there, but I guess this is actually mainly for creators. Now this is huge because so far for Minecraft, to create cinematic shots, we've had to use certain mods in the game, but most people who make Minecraft animations and cinematic movies and videos, they have to learn 3D modeling. They have to learn software like Cinema 4D or 3ds Max and then animate things to make movies. But I'm guessing all of these tools in Hytale might let us make content just within the engine. Then over here we have another example of the NPC spawner. He spawned this huge big ogre troll orc thing. I guess it's some kind of ogre. Oh, it's called Zombie Aberrant. So he spawned this huge zombie in front of him. And you can see, you can type in the count of the NPCs you want to spawn, the rotation of them on the spawn point, and as you can see, the scroll bar for the spawn menu is actually really small, so it looks like there's a huge list of NPCs already, which we covered earlier. He said there's like NPCs in the hundreds. This is going to be really big for creators. Then he posted the legacy engines back, so he shows this huge big elemental structure mob in this like blue shroom tinted cave, which looks super cool. Now he did put in a comment, PSA, I don't want to spend too much time making clips or marketing myself, so I'll be recording raw footage this morning and I'll dumb it down here when I'm done later today. Bugs and all, I need to get back to work on what matters, which is fixing the game. Set your expectations low. The game is broken, it's not good, but it's our mission to make it good and then do our best to make it great over the years to come. My social media team will be sharing screenshots and clips in the coming days and hours. Blog poster in the works. Lock in and get ready for early access. And then what he says below, this is key for this video too because of reacting to the content. He says you can monetize all of our screenshots, clips, art on YouTube, make content and have fun. So he's saying that anyone can monetize it and make money. This is from the founder of Hypixel, Simon himself, who sold his studios to Riot Games and he repurchased the games. This is from the creator himself. He says that we can use this content for our videos, react to it, make money from it and not get copyrighted. And he also replies to this fan here who says, can we use the music from the playlist that Oscar Garvin shared previously? And then Simon says yes. So we can use all this content in videos. So it's free promo for him, free content for us, vice versa. Win-win. Then he says, I want to see a Quebec. Okay, going back to work now. Be back later. And then the Hypixel team posted one of those cute little Quebecs. These guys look awesome. They kind of remind me of Ewoks from Star Wars because they live in the trees and such. Explore a world full of secrets and challenging enemies. What's this thing? This is another skeleton with some kind of volcanic armor. I don't know if there's a boss. But the art and the textures in this game are super cool. They've also got a Discord you can join. You can also join my Discord in the link below as well. This is really impressive because Blockbench, which I personally have used myself for Minecraft Modern to make mobs, models, and models for 3D based items, is actually partnered with Hytale now. So it says Hytale saved, get ready to start creating in Blockbench, more updates to come. So Hytale seems like potentially instead of their bespoke tools built into their engine, I guess they're going to actually partner with Blockbench, either incorporate it into the game UI itself somehow or just require you to download it. And this is going to be the main tool to actually make content like animations and stuff in Hytale now. I'm not against this because I think Blockbench is incredible and I'm sure they'll develop some kind of plugin to actually use with Blockbench to make it work fluidly. For animating and creating models and texturing them and stuff, this is probably the best tool for Minecraft in my opinion in terms of being easy to learn and just visually easy to use. So this is a huge plus. So I'm excited to see what everyone who's coming from Minecraft Modern will make in Hytale with Blockbench because there's some really talented creators who use this already in Minecraft. That's all the recent updates we have on Twitter. He has been posting some clips here, so we're going to have a look at this, the asset editors. This is a time-lapse preview of making VFX. Okay, so this is the asset editor in the game. So the UI is looking a little bit different here to what it looked like in the screenshots. So he's creating some new particle spawning assets over here, and he's spawning these cool particles in the world. There's all of these group editors. You can literally edit all the aspects like the opacity, the color of the particles, the spawner ID. There seems like there's going to be some quite complex customization properties here and options, but I guess with the videos on the channel they're going to explain these and how we can learn them. You have the material, the collision, the motion, the animations. There seems like there's going to be a lot of customization here. So I'm just going to quickly skip through this video. I would recommend to go on their official channel to watch this video because I want them to actually get the views. If we just skip ahead, you can see some of these properties that you can customize. And look at this huge swirling purple portal they've made. That just looks absolutely epic. It's like a fantasy version of like the Thanos portal from Avengers Endgame. Now I want to react to this gameplay, but I haven't actually seen this. Believe it or not, I'm not like one of those YouTubers who says they reacted and then they just rewatch it. I've not actually seen this. This is 60 minutes of gameplay. So this is going to be exciting. Let's check this out. So he's dueling another skeleton like one of those Draugr. Oh, check out those animations. So we got some combat animations. The swipes from those knives look cool. And I guess on the bottom, they're his items he can pick. It looked like he used some kind of special moves. I'm not sure if there's just different attack animations. We've got blocking. We've got switching to shield. We've got a third person to first person switch. On his toolbar down below, he's got what looks like, I guess they're all weapons. I don't know if that axe is for cutting trees. We've got climbing animations. Oh my gosh. Look at those planes and all those flowers. I will say I do like the music in the background though. That's a huge vibe. We've got some sprinting animations there. Now we see breaking trees. What I like what I'm seeing by the way. What I like is not only those breaking animations for blocks. I like the fact that they've got tree capitator built in. Like in the Minecraft mod. So you destroy the bottom block and every block above it will come tumbling down. Oh, we've got bows like in Skyrim. It looks like he's shooting one arrow now, but it looked like he's shooting 3 arrows at once here. That's pretty cool. Okay, the mob's kind of just gone full AFK mode and stopped doing anything. So the wood drops sticks from what I can see. I guess that's the branches, and then when he's cutting with an axe, you can also just drop log blocks like in Minecraft. Okay, these are different types of trees. I don't know if those are birch trees, maybe. Okay, now we're in some kind of bandit outpost. This looks like a barbarian village. I think we're in the snow or some underground cave. I don't know where we are. And we're using a huge, big, giant battle axe. Look at that spinning animation. I think that's got to be inspired by World of Warcraft. Because on World of Warcraft, you can do this ability on warriors. If you play the warrior class, you can do this thing called Blade Storm, where you just spin in a 360 circle. That's got to be from that. We're seeing crossbows here. That looks pretty cool. Oh, snap. That leap attack there. I would have liked to see that in third person, though. I'm not going to lie. So he's got an iron hand crossbow. So maybe we're going to have tiers of tools like in Minecraft. I don't know if it's going to be the same, like wood, stone, iron, things like that. Oh, okay. We can find, are they called vases or pots for loot around the world? Just sitting and taking all of our environments in. Having a break. 1 minute he's fighting bandits, the other minute he's sitting down. Oh, we can do rolls. Just like the epic fight mod. This reminds me of Skyrim. You're attacking a skeleton while another skeleton is shooting you in the back. Typical third partying. I like the skeletons actually moving about a bit though. He's jumping, he's moving objects. He's moving across the world rather. I'm interested to see like the AI and pathfinding for the NPCs, how complex it is. The NPC's closing the distance, he's chasing him. And then he just breaks into pieces. Which also has the sound of Lego breaking, like in the Lego games. Oh, okay, we see the inventory there. That was only for a split second. We had inventory and then we had a section that said pocket crafting. I don't want to pause the video though because the video's already long enough. Ooh, that growl. I like the archer in those like rags though and the hood. That looks cool. It's going to be so cool to see people make custom NPCs and textures there. Oh, we got underground bugs. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of arachnophobia mode for people who are scared of spiders and bugs. Maybe they should put that in the game. Speaking of which, World of Warcraft, I know I'm talking about that again, but that has an arachnophobia mode. So it replaces, I think, spiders with like other mobs. It might even replace them with other bugs like scorpions, to be honest. I don't know if it's much better, but it does actually have that. I think since a lot of younger people are going to play Hytale, who are probably more typically scared of spiders, I'd imagine, they should probably add that. Oh my god, this is so cool. It's giving Terraria vibes, I'm not gonna lie. The biomes, like this underground mushroom crystal biome thing, is giving Terraria vibes. But then the gameplay is kind of giving Minecraft cubic Skyrim vibes. So it's kind of just a big compendium bundled together. And the music though, shout out to the composer. I mean, they said on Twitter we can use this music and react to it, so we better not be getting any strikes. But shout out to the composer. You can tell whoever made the music is great at what they do. He's got is that a tomato on his hotbar? A tomato or some kind of fruit or something. And don't call me out in the comments because a tomato is a fruit, by the way. Okay, sneaking through a quiet forest, which reminds me of the Twilight Forest. We're going to compare everything to Minecraft here, but we are a Minecraft modding channel, so... Okay, sneaking through the shrubbery. So it seems like we're not going to have to fight every enemy head-on. I guess we're going to be able to sneak past things, which is kind of refreshing to see. Unless, obviously, they notice us, then we can jump away. Okay, he's put something down that heals him. That was that item next to the tomato, or fruit, or whatever it was. These are some flying things, which look like Lovecraftian kind of horrors flying through the sky. They also look like those things from the Dimension in the Dragonborn DLC from Skyrim as well. If you don't understand some of these references, then let me know, but I think most people who like this game probably should have played Skyrim before. Oh my god, those things look terrifying. They're definitely something from hell. That's why you don't want to go there, guys, trust me. Oh damn, he's just shanking the thing with 2 blades. So the character's kind of playing like a rogue in this clip. He's got 2 glaives, he's like an assassin. Whereas in the other clips, he was playing with a bow. In some clips, he was playing with a double-handed axe. It seems like there's going to be a lot of variation in terms of weapons we can use and what kind of playstyle we want to be. I don't think they're going to add like RPG classes, but it seems like whatever your item set is, you can kind of play in a different way. So it's just... It doesn't seem linear at all from what I'm seeing. I'm not sure if there's going to be like a story or any constraints, but it seems like you can just explore and kill things. But, I mean, it's interesting to see if they're going to add things like quests or any linear elements, but I think the whole kind of point is freedom. But I'm not sure what the progression's going to be. I haven't really looked too much into like how progression works. What are you actually working towards? How big is the world? Are these all like individual levels, or is this just like an infinite world like Minecraft with so much diversity? I don't honestly know, but so far so good. This looks like some kind of underbog or undergarden kind of biome. And it seems like you can cut down a lot of the bushes here as well. And we're going to have different dimensions as well. That's another thing I want to know. Like I said, I did used to make a lot of updates on Hytale, but I don't know too much about like the complexities of the game. I haven't really been keeping track of it for a few months either as well. So this is kind of a big thing for me to see. But they just casually dropped the update that the game is coming back, and yet again also casually dropped 16 minutes of just gameplay. And this is the original engine, guys, as well, and it still looks good. I mean, that's coming from someone who literally just plays games from like 10, 20 years ago. In terms of multiplayer games, I usually play new stuff, like Battlefield 6 recently, but most of the games I do play, I don't play much games other than some multiplayer games at night, but most of the single player games I do play, if I do, I usually tend to play the old ones, like Elder Scrolls and Jedi Academy and Half-Lifes. I don't really tend to play all the new stuff, so all this kind of stuff, like Hytale, that has that nostalgic look to it, is definitely something that attracts me. Right, so he's in some desert or mesa biome now. What's that fire in the distance in those trees, though? That's what I want to know. Okay, we've got some kind of bugs coming up through the sand. So we've got auto sorting in the inventory as well, in case you guys didn't see that. That's going to be super cool. There seems like there's going to be a lot of options. Remember, the guys who made this game came from the Minecraft scene, so all of your favourite mods, like inventory tweaks, sorting, anything that adds cool quality of life features, they're going to be probably implementing all of this into the game, so even though they're going to have modern, I feel like most features are just going to be in the game just by vanilla default. He's sniping these guys. I'm interested how the bow works though, because sometimes he shoots 1 arrow and then sometimes he shoots 3. So do you have some like special perk or ability that activates after you fire a few? I don't know. But he's got some skeleton mages attacking him right now. It seems like he chose violence, but then when he saw those magic casters, he just didn't want any part of it. So we have health, we have stamina at the bottom on the bar. So, oh, now we see the world map. So this is Simon playing, as you can see, under the players list. You can see all the structures here. He just showed you a huge pyramid. So the world map is kind of like, I guess it's also still voxel based. It was top down as well. Talking about like how maps and worlds work, I haven't seen games that have been isometric for a long time. That's where games are kind of like 2D, 3D from the top side view. Like the old RTS games. Okay, we've seen the world map again. So the map looks huge, but from what I'm seeing, the map looks limited. So I might be wrong, I'm only going off from what I'm seeing, because like I said, I'm not an expert at all. But it seems like these are going to be big worlds or big maps, but they're not going to be limitless. That's what I'm gauging from this, but I might be wrong. That's some kind of structure built into the forest. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. This is like literally my reaction. I've not watched this video. This dimension looks cool wherever we are. It looks like we're in some kind of end forest mixed with like netherwart forest. This is just pretty overwhelming and mind-blowing. I mean, he's shown us a lot, I'll give you that. I'll tell you that for free. But remember, they have been working on this for absolutely years. I think the original trailer was like 2018, so what is it now? It's like 2025? So, we're talking like 7 years, is that? Doing quick maths. So, they have been working on it a long time, so I guess you'd expect them to have a lot to showcase, because they've been giving us filler over the years, but this is a big thing to drop all at once. Okay, that's cool. So he's marked a waypoint. So we've got XY coordinates and he's marked a waypoint. So there's, I guess, some kind of tom system, waypoint system rather. And you can see the top thing on the screen. There's actually a compass. So it shows north, east, south, west. I'm not seeing northwest, southwest, etc. But you see there's like a little yellow waypoint on there after you marked it. So that's a cool system. Okay, now we're in some kind of Aztec, Mayan looking statuesque village. We're underground with really nice ambient lighting effects, those crimson forest trees. I will note though that the cave is absolutely huge. Kind of reminds me of the Caves in Cliff update to Minecraft. There's a lot of things on the ground objects too, a lot of bushes, a lot of fruits. I'm not sure if those are rendered like randomly, procedurally generated, or if those are all individually added by the world designers. But there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff in the frame. Some really epic battle music as well. Yet again, really cool composer. Really cool music from the composer. We've got some target dummies, lily pads, water splash effects. We've got bats just flying out in the open. I think those are bats. They might be birds, but they look like bats. Ooh, more skeletons. I wonder how many skeleton types are in this game. There seems to be so many variations of skeletons. That jab effect though was cool. That lunge he just did with the sword. He's doing some close range bow firing right now. What's this big core hound thing? Well, that demon dog thing just died instantly, so I guess it wasn't very powerful in the end anyway. Got some little rocks and pebbles on the ground. Yet again, another biome or dimension. I still don't know if these are all going to be stitched together or if these are just random worlds you can hop in and hop out of. Especially if people are making custom content. They might just be small worlds that are huge. Because I don't see everything being stitched together in the map. Unless the map earlier was only showing like a small portion of the world that was rendered. but impressive stuff nonetheless. And this white forest looks really nice. This is definitely in with the winter vibes right now, I must say. I love that lunge attack he just keeps doing. What's this weird like vampire hunter skeleton he just killed? Speaking of which, I would like to see vampires and vampire hunters in the game. Okay, so this is the content creation tools we covered earlier in the video, and where he went over the model editor, it said launch the Blockbench app, so that is actually going to be confirmed that Blockbench gets launched when we click the model editor. As for the NPC spawner, obviously that's just built into the engine. Some of the model previews though are a little bit finicky here. They're kind of positioned wrong in the screen, but nonetheless, super cool. He spawned a Ferren, I guess that NPC was called. Oh my god, look at this top-down view of the world, man. This looks sick. This looks like some kind of goblin or troll village over there. And you can see as he flew into it, the music changed. So we have dynamic music, which changes based on the different areas we're in. Kind of like when you get into combat in Elder Scrolls. Okay, we've got the inventory. Wait, why has he got a gun? Why has he got a gun? He's got like an AK-47 or something. I didn't really like, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really like those particle effects from that gun. I think that was the only thing I didn't like so far. And it also kind of seemed a bit out of place that he had an assault rifle. But I don't know, there's a lot of fantasy games with things like muskets and rifles, so maybe we'll see more of that. And it did look like some kind of stitched together thing. Ancient gateway. Ooh, so we have another portal, like what we saw on that little particle clip. And he's jumped through it, and that's the end of that video. So closing thoughts on this, I think Hytale coming back is absolutely huge news. Everyone who's in this Minecraft community and the whole modern space has been hyping this up for the past 7 or 8 years. So this is incredible. I'm really excited to see what Simon and the group of developers and the team are going to come up with. I'm going to be following this close on probably YouTube mostly, but I might occasionally look at Twitter even though I don't really use it. But there's going to be some cool stuff coming soon. I decided to make content on this because I want them to keep this motivation to keep going, and any free promotion is obviously going to give them some good exposure. So do support this project, do go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure to subscribe and like this video to keep up to date, because I will occasionally post some updates when they have big information to share like this. And drop a comment below. I want to know, if you reach the end of this video, what do you think about all this news? What does it mean to you? What are you hoping that they add in the future, and what are some of the suggestions you want in this game? Are you disappointed with some of the changes, or are you really excited? And are you going to become a creator, maybe making maps and mods for this game? Maybe you're going to become a Hytale YouTuber. I want to know all about it in the comments. Do let me know. And check out one of these 2 videos next, and I'll see you soon.